Am I the idiot for losing my shit on my husband on the day of his family reunion? I'm a 35 years of female, married to a 38 years of man. We have been together for 10 years, and have 2 children 9 and 5. My husband works very hard. He has multiple jobs he works throughout the week. Recently we had a discussion about taking time off and spending some time together. It is difficult because of things in his past. He accumulated a lot of debt, which is why he works so much. I work 60 hours a week and take care of the household and childcare things, while much of his income goes to paying his debts. I keep up with the household. I do the housework, and lawn work, repairs, etc. And he contributes where he can. Within this year he has taken time off for family and co-worker events. He has scheduled time to take trips with his friends, and when he does so I'm the designated babysitter. Many days after he gets home he is responsible for his parents. He takes them grocery shopping, fixes things at their household, and does some of their housework. I forgot to mention he is one of 5 and all 4 siblings live close to his parental home. His parents assist in child care for his siblings but not for ours. I've told him my frustrations of being consistently placed on the back burner. The other day I lost it. I found out he invited his family to our house for a family reunion last week. I thought he took time off of work and he didn't. The house was a mess, and most of the mess is his. I was expected to clean the house, get the groceries, run the kids to their weekend events, start cooking and get the reunion set up, as he set the time for 4 p.m. the time he gets out of work. The kids are helpful in doing their chores and cleaning their rooms. I got the house clean and by the time his family started pouring in I was stewing as he was at work. He asked me why there weren't any clean towels as he was going to take a shower. And I freaked out in front of his whole family. I ran down the list of how I am always on the back burner for these people, how I am one person, and I'm the one contributing to the household while he works just to pay off his debts, and I have no security or support in this relationship, and that he is like having another child, and that all I feel like I'm worth is an occasional fuck whenever he is in the mood. I let it all out. I ended with I'm done. I packed a bag and I took off. I'm sat in a parking lot hysterical. And no, the kids weren't present, they were outside playing. He is a good father to the kids, but as a husband I feel like I am better off by myself. I have so much resentment towards him. And no, he hasn't called, he texted me loud and clear, which made me even more angry because this is exactly how he deals with everything. I'm now feeling like an asshole for going off and saying all I did, especially in front of his family. Am I the idiot? To P in the eye. Comments. Comment 1. Tell him to move in with his parents while he pays off his debt. That way he can care for them, hang with his friends, take the kids on the weekends and do whatever he wants to do with no consideration of you. Then you can enjoy your home children and weekends to relax, all with one less giant child to care for. Comment 2. People who let their parents get away with identity theft drive me wild. I get that it's probably accompanied by other abuse that makes it draw that line, but these stories be still my head explode. You run up 6 figures on my credit, and I don't care when you are. Update 1. The one subtraction. After the loud and clear text I was bombarded with phone calls and texts from his family. I sent a message to my husband to give me some space, and if he had any care for me, and this relationship, to call off his dogs. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb with the exception of my children's iPad. I had called my mother, sent her some money and she picked them up for a special grandma date sleepover. Once they were there I FaceTimed them and told them I was working. I'm not working. I had a secret rainy day fund and splurged on a nice hotel and spa day. Had a few drink, cried my eyes out some more and just spent the day unplugged and journaled all my feelings. I haven't had time to do any of that in a very long time. After that I mustered up the courage to open Reddit and read my fate, and wow was I surprised. I was fully expecting a ton of "you are the asshole" comments. To clear up a few things. I shamefully do not know the lengths of his debts. Much of it was from his parents putting bills in his name. Others is just mismanagement of money, credit cards, etc. I took over the finances after I found a letter in the mail saying that we were going to lose the house. I was contributing to the household bills at the time, and he was doffing the finances. I trusted things were well. This was after marriage and after kids. We went to counseling because of it, and he said he was ashamed and afraid to tell me the truth. I took over about 3 years ago, and I told him to focus on clearing his debt, and I'd hold the household down while he did. I did not expect it to take this long, and with inflation everything has just become more expensive. And that much more hard for me. I was supposed to go back to school, and that was put on hold so I could catch up on what we were behind. Hence the working 60 hours. I'm a nurse and I work 12-hour shifts and capitalize on overtime where I can. I agree with the comment saying I'm burnt out. I realized this today. I realized at work or at home I'm constantly in critical thinking caregiver mode. My job is to care and problem solve for everyone, but myself. To clear up the comment of his family doesn't watch our kids, is because they did so one time and threw it in our faces, and I said never again. I see how they use him. I've said something before and he returns with one day they won't be here. And I'll wish I could have done more. I told him that's fine, but you have siblings that are equally responsible. Some that don't have spouses or kids that can contribute. As far as the house and things go, he does really help when he can. Don't jump on me, I just want to be truthful. I think it came across that he comes home and does nothing. He just works up to 16 hours 7 days a week, so a lot of times it's me doing the majority of it. As far as the trips goes, yeah. That's a sore spot. He tells me about them. He takes the day off, it pisses me off. I have to beg for time, and when we do get it we end up in a fight. Or I have to plan everything, or we can't get sitters and sit home and he sleeps all day. And to be honest, I'm so full of resentment that it's almost too little too late. Like when I'm around him I'm just so pissed off. He says I always have an attitude, and that he's trying but nothing is ever good enough. So, I just stopped and accepted my fate, hence the blow up. I haven't spoken to him yet besides telling him to call off his family. He was part of the did on my phone. I'm enjoying the peace, I'm enjoying being by myself, and just being present and aware of my feelings. Knowing my kids are safe and I can truly take some time for myself, and my mental health right now is everything. I know tomorrow I have to go back to reality, and deal with everything. I promise to update when I can. I'm sorry to leave you all hanging if this isn't the update you had hoped for. I just want to enjoy this escape a little while longer while I can before my world implodes. Thank you all and please keep the advice coming. I truly am alone on this one, and need all the advice and support I can get. Update 2. Update: thank you all again for all the advice. I woke up this morning with a clear head. I'm still upset, and disappointed. I had tons of voicemails from his family. I don't have the energy to listen through them all. I don't care, like I said I'm angry, but I also feel embarrassed. I did call my husband this morning. I could tell by his voice he didn't sleep last night, and he confirmed that he in fact did not. He told me after the blow up he asked everyone to leave. He was surprised to see my mother as I sent her to pick up the kids. He said that's when it really became real. We had a long conversation. I did apologize for exploding and doing so when I did and not communicating better. He said he understands why I felt like I couldn't, and was actually glad it happened the way it did. His family finally got to see how much they affected his home. According to him, after I left he laid into them, and told them that he can no longer be the only one to help his family out, and that a lot of the mess he's in is their fault. He said that after the blow-up he told his siblings they need to step up and help with his parents. His parents were obviously upset with the whole ordeal. I couldn't care less, to be honest. They couldn't believe that they are such a burden, because they ask for a little help from time to time. I just rolled my eyes in disgust as he was talking. My new space along with my feelings of hurt and anger just let me speak all my truths. I had nothing left to give or lose, so I told him how I felt about everything. He sat in silence for a while, then finally broke down and said he feels like a failure. He's ashamed of the debt, and how much he has let us down. He said he was exhausted, and has been feeling depressed, because he couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and feels as though he's ruined our future. That he goes out with his friends to feel normal in himself, because all he does is work. That he does this because of this black cloud that's been hanging over him. I wasn't my best self in this moment, and told him to save me the self-pity. It's pathetic. That he got himself into this mess, and I'm digging him out. I'm fucking depressed too. There's a ton of shit I want to do that I can't do, because I'm financially unable to do so. I went off how over the past 3 years his income has gone solely to debt repayment, yet there's no end in sight, because I haven't even seen that so-called debt. I've given him my all, and as much support as I could gather, but I'm angry. This isn't the life I pictured or set myself up for either. It's not the life my kids deserve. I've missed out on so much because I'm working, or I'm cleaning, or I'm just so tired I can't even open my eyes. I told him he has no one to blame but himself. I think my disdain was concerning. He said he will show and prove, that he will print out his credit report and list out all the debt he has along with all his pay stubs, and bank records, and the receipts of what's paid off and whatever else I want as far as his finances are concerned. He promised me my hard work was not in vain and that he is almost debt-free. Come to find out his parents opened credit cards and bills in his name when he was younger and accrued close to $100,000 of debt in his name, not including interest. They trashed his credit, and that's why it has taken so long. According to him, he has been fighting with the collection companies to settle, trying to consolidate or get a lower interest as it was multiple companies and debts. What I didn't know is some were so bad his wages were being garnished, He was in tears and said he didn't know how to tell me, that he didn't even know the extent of what they did. He was basically working all these hours, with nothing to take home to us and accruing more debt just to survive. I stayed silent. My blood was boiling. He didn't even realize he just helped me make my decision. He jokingly said my outburst took care of the family situation and that is why he texted me loud and clear, meaning and they got the message. I told him I didn't find it funny. It's a shame that it took an outburst from me, for everyone to hear what I've been saying all along. That he's an idiot for not filing charges on his parents, and just taking it up the ass and allowing it to ruin my life, and the children we created lives. I told him he's appeals and I feel so stupid. He said he didn't call me because he knew how mad I was, and was scared he would say the wrong thing and say things just like that. I thanked him for the honesty and the conversation and told him I am so broken, angry, and hurt right now that I can't even pick up my pieces, let alone his. Right now I need to clear my head. He said he's willing to do whatever it takes to turn this around. He even suggested marriage counseling. He told me he used his PTO and took the rest of the week off to work on this. I lost it and sobbed uncontrollably. If it was that easy to take time off, why now and not then? I asked him why didn't I matter before we got here? Why now? I told him he needs the time off to find counseling, both personal and legal. That I won't be coming home. He asked me if I was serious. He begged me to rethink my decision. He said all the things I've been wanting to hear. He asked me where I was going to go. And what about the kids in the house and the bills? That I couldn't tear the kids from the only home they know. I simply replied, I know this is what needs to be done, and I've already set the ball in motion. He hung up on me. I cried, then went to get the kids. We are going to have a wonderful week in a somewhat fancy hotel, and swim in the pool and order room service, and make some memories. I took some of the money I had saved in my rainy day fund and extended my hotel stay to include me and the kids. I have an awful lot to catch up on with them. The look on their faces when I said no, mommy doesn't have to work tonight, was priceless. I also have an appointment with legal consultants tomorrow. Hopefully I can talk to a lawyer and figure out what's next. Wish me luck, everyone, and thanks again. Now, for the next story. Our neighbors have been having pool parties at our pool, while we are not home for years. A few years ago my husband and I purchased a house with a pool. Now we are acquainted with most of our neighbors but definitely not close friends with any of them. They all seem nice but just don't have much in common other where we live. Next door to the right is a family of 6, twin daughters attending the local university, high school age son and a young elementary school age daughters who are second grade, and the parents. Now normally we open the pool in early May and keep it open until the end of October. But this year our weather was off, and we had a very cool and very wet month of May. And then June went straight to 100 temperatures. I am currently on a medication that makes it difficult for me to tolerate being in the sun and heat for an extended time. Plus we have been helping 2 extended family members who are having health issues. So because of this we haven't had our pool opened yet this year. Normally we go to the family lake house for a week during each of the 3 major holidays. But we didn't go for Memorial Day because there was flooding around the lake this year, and because a family member was just discharged from the hospital yesterday, and July 4th being a Thursday this year, we decided to stay home this week and be available to help this family member. Now several times in June the little girl next door has seen either my husband or myself outside, and she has asked when we are opening the pool. We first told her maybe later, but the last time yesterday, she asked, and I said we are probably just not going to open it this year. And she started crying. Now we have never had any of the neighbors over to use our pool, so I didn't understand why she was crying over us not opening our pool. Well, I spoke with the neighbor on the left later, and apparently our neighbors on the right have been having a small family party at our pool every 4th of July when we are gone. They have always cleaned up really well afterwards, and because we have scheduled pool maintenance and weekly yard service, occasionally things are moved around in our yard, and we never thought much about it. The neighbor on the left thought we had given the other neighbors permission to permit it. We did give them permission to retrieve any balls or toys that ended up in our yard, but never permission to use our pool, especially when we are not at home. We have a special latch on the gate, and my husband did show the neighbor how to open the gate to retrieve his kids' toys. So now my husband, who loves gadgets, is going to have several more cameras installed around the exterior of our house, covering the gate and pool area, and have the gate latch made where we can grant remote access for the pool service and yardmen. Luckily we have a friend who does cameras and home automation systems. I'm annoyed our neighbors have been using our pool without permission, but my husband is happy I am letting him get more gadgets around the house. Now do we confront the neighbors and let them know we know they have been using our pool? Or just wait and see if they say anything about our new security cameras? Comments. Comment 1. These people suck. Why in the world didn't he tell the neighbors that he was going off to the lake so that he could catch his neighbors in the act of using the pool? Coming out while they are setting up their party, and asking what they are doing and forcing the neighbors to have to explain what they are doing would have been priceless. Comment 2. My petty ass would have packed up like I was going to the lake and went to my cousin's house on the morning of the 4th. Then I would have come home with the police and gave the neighbors the Pikachu face when I learned it was them. Update. A few things I feel I need to clarify. Yes, our backyard is fully fenced in with 2 gates. One in back is double locked from the inside. The side gate on the side of garage nearest the neighbors in question has a double latch that you have to reach over the top and find not 1 but 2 releases to open the gate. There is also an auto close that automatically closes the gate and latches it. I personally can't open the gate from the outside of the fence because I can't reach over that far to reach the 2 latches. The previous owner put this in, and it has worked well for our yard crew and the pool maintenance people. We do have some cameras, a doorbell camera, and a camera over our garage area. The garage camera picks up if someone goes towards the gate from the front, but we didn't want to invade our neighbors' privacy by recording their side garage door and gate to their backyard. We even shared the camera angle with them, because we didn't want them to be concerned about us recording their children, or their coming and going. I guess we were more concerned about their privacy than they were about ours. Anyway, the update: Thursday, July 4th morning, I was loading a few things in my vehicle to take to my cousin who just got out of the hospital. Neighbor husband, who has been gone a lot for work recently, saw me and came over and asked if I was getting a late start going to the lake. I let him know that we were staying home because we are helping my cousin who just got out of the hospital. He asked if we were going to be home all weekend. I said yes, one or both of us be around all weekend. He quickly wished me a happy 4th and went home. I went back in to grab my purse and tell my husband about the conversation with the neighbor before I left. When I got home, our friend Mike was there. Mike does security cameras and home automation systems, gadgets, and my husband loves gadgets. Mike and my husband have a plan for multiple cameras and several gadgets, some of which involve us going ahead and having the pool open. I agreed to all but one of the new cameras and almost all of the gadgets. I think husband put some in the plan knowing he would have to give up a few of them. Mike also suggested talking to our homeowner's insurance agent, because we might be able to get some discounts with the security upgrades. So on Friday the 5th, Tom, our insurance guy, comes over and Mike is back. And he has a drone to help him find the best camera positions. Really, I think he just wanted to show off his gadget. So husband Mike and Tom are outside and all around the house and occasionally inside. I look outside every so often, and at different times other neighbors have come outside and down to our end of the street. So neighbors want to know what is going on, so husband tells them we are concerned that someone or several people may have used our pool without our permission while we were not home. It turns out that 2 different neighbors had witnessed some friends of the neighbor children come over last year, and they and the neighbor twins had gone into our backyard. One neighbor even asked the girls, and they claimed that we let them come over all the time and use our pool. So at this point husband and Tom discuss this, and Tom says we should send a registered letter to the neighbors rescinding our permission from entering our fenced-in backyard. So before Mike and Tom left, the neighbors on the right, pool party neighbors, come home, both husband and wife. My husband asks to talk to them, and with Mike and Tom as witnesses he tells them that for insurance reasons we are rescinding our permission for them, or any member of their family or guests, to enter our fenced-in backyard. And we will be sending a registered letter stating this, as requested by our insurance. Husband never accused them, or their children, of using our pool, but said we had reason to believe that in the past our pool had been used without our permission. He did say that we had reason to believe that their older children might be friends with someone who has been in our pool. Husband also told them that we are changing the gate to have an automated lock and cameras will be installed around the pool area. He also assured them that we avoid the cameras pointed at their windows or backyard. Husband indicated that we were taking these measures to hopefully lower our homeowners' insurance rates. Husband said that they exchanged a few looks between them, but they said they understood and appreciated the heads up. So hopefully this saga is over, but if there are any other updates I will try and post them.